So basically inspiration can come from anywhere, and that's the great thing. But it can only come from anywhere if you don't block it out. And you block it out, and that's kind of what I learned, by too much thinking about it. I early on collected music with my tape recorder that I recorded out of radios, and I started doing this somehow from an early age because I also have an older brother, and he started to have quite a good record collection from early age on, and so I sneaked into his place and listened to the very early like Genesis records, stuff out of the 70s and things like this. And so I collected quite a music library with tapes and with early vinyls, obviously, of course, too. And then in '91, I had my first club gig, and I met a friend who had some early synths and things like this. I myself got an early little drum computer from Boss, and so we just put our stuff together. And that was the first time in it was late '94, '95 when I really wanted to make music myself too, because I thought that was like the next logical thing to do. I've learned over the many years that you should get rid of any routine or approach to make music. I remember the early days when I went to my studio and you sat down and you just put in some bass drums and you just boom, boom, boom. You had these 4 bass drums loops going on, and then you tried to like implement some sounds or add some grooves and take it from there. It was working in the beginning, but it was a process. That approach only worked for a certain amount of time, because at some point you sit there and you hear these 4 bass drums in a loop, bump, bump, and you're like, okay, I put a chord there, and I put a chord there, and I've put a chord there. What haven't I done yet? You know, and you just like, it was not inspirational anymore. So you started to find new approaches, maybe starting with a sound and take it from this way. Or you went outside in the nature and you're just like, I'm sick and tired of all my synths in my studio. Let's clap a car door and record it and run it through like loads of plugins and in order to start like this. So I'm basically thinking to myself, or I told myself, like, let's not stick to a certain approach. Let's always find something new. How I approached making the sample pack was more or less the idea that I wanted to do something from scratch, but based on the experience that I have using samples, especially in a DJ environment for myself. And what I've learned in the last 10 years in my DJ environment, not only using effects and also using samples, is that you want to have basic things and nothing too complicated, but yet really good sounding things. So the sample pack is maybe rather used as a starting idea, rather than a finished, complete, like, oh, I'm going to use these 5 samples and a track is done or something like this.